Greetings and salutations, YouTube. Today I'm going to install these lights, these LED pod lights, as additional backup lights. I guess you would call that auxiliary or whatever. What I'm doing right now is I'm taking all these screws out because they were supposed to send a template in here to cut out the hole, but there's no template in there. So I decided what I'm going to do is, if I take these screws off, I think I can use the back part here as a template to make the cutout. So we just got some, let's see what size this is. It's a 3/32 Allen wrench here, and I'm just going to go ahead and take those out and show you what it looks like when it's all apart. Okay, so I got the trim ring that was on the front off, so I'm going to use this as a template. I got to decide where I'm going to put it because you got to make sure there's no bracing or anything behind there. So I'm going to get down on the ground and make sure I got a spot for it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure down so they're both equal distance from this, and put a piece of tape there. So I'm going to carefully, well, somewhat carefully, trying to trace around this to get a good outline. I'm going to drill some holes and then cut that out. Okay, so I got this saw here specifically for this, to cut this shape out. So hopefully I'm going to be able to follow my line pretty well. It's kind of hard to see actually. I might go over it with a silver marker. I think I'm going to do that so I can see it easier. Alright, so I'm wearing ear protection, so I probably sound like I'm yelling. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Okay, so it's the next day. I got this hole cut and my little die grinder died. It's a cheap Harbor Freight one. So I ran over to Harbor Freight, picked up a less cheaper one, did the right thing, and kind of, ground it out a little bit. Got the holes drilled. One thing I do regret is I thought this was pretty flat for the light, but when you look down on it, it's got kind of a curve to it, so the light doesn't sit necessarily 100% flush. So I probably should have put it over here. What I did is I ordered some kind of like neoprene gasket material, and that's not going to be here till tomorrow. And I also ordered some weather tight connections. I was just going to hardwire it all together, but I think what I'm going to do is put some pigtails on the lights and some pigtails on the wiring so it can be disconnected easily if I ever have to take it off or want to change it. And for this next hole, this one over here, I'm not going to use that little saw. Well, I am, but I'm not going to use the drill method that I did on the other side with drilling holes and then using that little saw. I'm going to use this cutoff grinder that I got. It's a cheap one. I don't really use it that much, so I didn't need anything expensive, but this thing works pretty well. So I'm going to use that to cut the top, sides, bottom as close to the corners as I can, and then use my little pneumatic reciprocal saw to, wow, somebody's burning out, to finish it off, and then use my die grinder to smooth it all out. It's a little rainy today, so I'm just gonna cut that, and as I said, I have to wait for the wiring pigtails and that gasket material. I thought I'd just show you this metal from the bumper. It's pretty thick. I don't know what gauge that is, but I mean, that's pretty hard to cut. It doesn't just cut like sheet metal. So I'm going to use this and then the little thing and go off from there. Okay, so I used the cutoff wheel and then used my little air saw, as you probably saw, to get the little, it's pretty rough, so I'm going to use this die grinder to smooth all these edges off. Otherwise that's just a razor blade. So let me do that. Now that I got the hole all marked out, I'm going to mark for these holes for the bolts with this handy dandy silver Sharpie. I'm going to use a punch and put a little dent in there to get it started, otherwise it's going to walk. You're going to get the holes off center. Okay, it's been a couple days since I stopped where I was last time, which I don't even remember where that was now, but anyway, I got the holes cut. I'll show you that. Tailgate's down, so I can't show you now. But what I did is I took the tail light out, and to identify the reverse light, which is, whoa, it's got a mind of its own. This is my reverse light. I've got LEDs in there, but they're still not bright enough. And my reverse light is the green and black. So I need to trace that down through this wiring down underneath to find where to tap into it. So I'm going to get under there and do that now. Okay, I've decided what I'm going to do is go ahead and tap into the wires up here and just run wires down, put this on the end and plug it in. It's just easier to tap into here than to try to find the wires under there. Your truck may be different, but this is probably going to be the easiest for me, because then if I try to tap in down there, I'm going to have to try to put it back in the wire looms and all that stuff. Here I can just tap into it right here, drop the wires down, connect one of these to the end and plug it right in. What I'm going to use is this, hopefully you can, is that focusing? It's kind of like these little Scotch lock things, but these are a little bit better quality. I ordered these on Amazon. I'll put a link to those. And one wire goes, you attach it, one wire goes through and then you tap in. The wire you're going to tap in goes in there. So let me see if I can show that to you. So you do need pliers to kind of clamp down on it. No, didn't close. This thing should snap. down on there, which it looks like it did. And then I'm going to stagger the other ones so they're not right on top of each other. I'll put it down here. Oh, there it is. So there it is. That should be plenty of wire. And it'd be nice to run it inside that loom, but it's okay. I think it'll be fine. I just need to probably get it to like right here, and then I can use this plug, run it over to there, and plug into it. And then on the other side, I'll just do the same thing. Okay, so I got the wires tucked up in there. Not the best of jobs, but it'll do. And they're run down through that hole. And then they're connected to the back of the light there. And I'm going to go, excuse me. But they're connected to the back of the light here. Let me see, there you go. And I'm going to go ahead and test it. There's the regular reverse. And there is the new LED. So I'm going to go ahead and start on the next side. Okay, and then here is our wire. I fished it down through there. Just in case that didn't get recorded or there was a bloody curdling scream from the kids were interfering. That's plugged in now, so I'm going to go ahead and test the other light. And there we go. They're both working. The factory one's working. That one's still out of the housing. I got to put that back in. But they're both working. So I'm going to call that a success. I'm going to go on to the next video here, which is going to be the intake manifold gasket. So I'll see you guys on that one.